Welcome to Not Like This. Not Like This. From professional wrestling, horror films, and everything in between. Strap in. And now your hosts, Dale Zawada and Jim Snedeker Jr.
Welcome to Not Like This. I'm Dale Zawada with Jim Snedeker Jr. Jim, is it okay if I start the show?
Yes, I know what you need to do.
Oh, boy.
You do it.
All right. Let's get right into it. I want to start the show with some controversy in the National Football League because this past Thursday was the NFL draft and the Packers, my Green Bay Packers, stole the show. And not with their awesome draft. They had a very good draft. Very excited about that. No. They stole the show with reports that Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay.
Well, let's get it started.
I've been doing that ever since.
I bet.
Since Thursday. I'm like, geez, Schefter, stop fucking tweeting. Every time Schefter tweets, I'm just like, crack it open. This is a weird one. This is a weird situation because there's going to be a lot of apparentlys, a lot of supposedlys, and reportedlys.
Yes, okay.
Because apparently he feels they don't pay him enough and they aren't getting him enough help, which that people have always kind of complained about that. Like, oh, get him some more help. And they finally did because the squad they have now is like really, really good. But it's hard for me with the like, pay me yet get me help. I'm like, well, which one is it, bro?
That's a good point.
Which one do you want? We can't do both of those. And they are trying. They've had a bunch of guys restructure contracts. They want Rodgers to restructure the old Tom Brady special. Like, we can't, like, there's a limit on this shit, bro. So do you want to help the cause or do you want to get paid? Because you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, I don't really know a ton about his contract, and as we've discussed, I don't really follow sports a whole lot anymore. But I do recall, just in general, off the top of my head, at least like 3 or 4 times where there's been a superstar that's like, I'll take a hit. We'll figure something out with my money so we can win. I just want to win. And this sounds like he wants it both ways, and that never you can't.
And he can afford it, just like Tom Brady can afford it. Obviously, like his wife is rich as shit as well. But like Rodgers, like you got a top tier contract, you got all your State Farm money, you can afford to restructure sort of thing. But if you don't want to, that's fine. That's up to you. But you can't have it both ways there, and that's annoying. Now I'm hoping a lot of these reports are bullshit, but it does sound like they're true because it was the Kentucky Derby recently, and one of the reporters was like, he didn't want to talk on camera, and he said that he's very disappointed that it came out this way. And I'm just like, fuck you, that it came out the day of the draft.
Yeah,
conveniently.
Yeah, that's horseshit. Trying
to strong arm a trade, perhaps, which supposedly there were offers, and the Packers are like, nah, we're good. Thank you, though. We appreciate the phone call. But we have no interest in this extended car warranty or trading our Hall of Fame MVP quarterback at this time. But thank you. Good luck with the rest of the draft.
It would have to be a dumb, lopsided trade to even consider it. It have to be a team that's so desperate to win 1 year. They have one last year to win that they're like, we'll trade you every number 1 pick for the next 5 years.
That's what it would have to be.
I mean,
because you know what you have with this guy. And those picks, you don't know. A bird in the hand is better than 7 birds in the bush.
Here's something I wanted to know from you because I don't really follow this stuff. What are his numbers season to season? I mean, are they still like prime?
Oh, yeah.
Good numbers, right?
The couple years before 2019, so 17, 18, when McCarthy's final years as head coach, not great. I call those the Olivia Munn years.
Oh, no.
Not fantastic. And then they shit can McCarthy. Thank God I fucking threw a party that day. I was calling for that since when was I calling for that? 2012. Yeah, like pretty much the year after they won the Super Bowl and they couldn't do it again. I was like, it's because this guy's really bad. Yeah, his numbers were great. I mean, he just won MVP. So when LaFleur became head coach, he really good numbers, very, very good numbers. And then year 2, which was last year, in the same program, even fucking better numbers. That's why, once again, he won MVP. So the numbers are there. They're not really dipping. If anything, they're kind of going up, at least because of the Olivia Munn years. So there is that benchmark to improve from.
Okay.
He's still got it.
So
and he says he wants to play till 40, 45. And I'm like, good, do it.
That's a big comma. 40, 45, whatever it takes.
45. We'll see where science goes.
Right.
You know, I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. So it's not
situation.
like an obvious he's declining or whatever. I mean, we know he's aging, but he doesn't seem to be exhibiting the effects of aging.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have the legs as much. I mean, he can still scramble. He can still run for those firsts, but, you know, not as much. He will look to fucking throw it away before that. He's like, I'm good. I don't want to get hit.
It's got to be frustrating. I mean, so we're talking, what, back-to-back MVPs then?
I believe so.
Or at least 2 in a short period of time. So it is hard to be like, can you restructure for us? And he's like, what? I mean...
Then don't. I don't fault him for being unhappy. It's okay for everyone listening. You can be unhappy.
Sure.
That's emotion. You can feel that. I have a problem with how this is being handled. And like I said, you know, now we're hearing, I didn't want it to get out this way. And gee, I'm not buying that just yet. And apparently he wants the GM shit canned. If he's gonna, you know, if you want me to stay, you gotta fire the GM. Which this a lot of angles on this drive me crazy, and this is a big one because so this GM, he is rather new, and last year he drafted with their first round pick, not number 1 pick, but the first round pick, they drafted a quarterback, Jordan Love. Pretty stupid draft pick. Hated it then, hated it now. Somewhat understandable, I guess. It's a bonehead draft pick. Everything else, the guy's done pretty solid. Has tried to make some moves in free agency, which is difficult. I think they did bring in some, you know, minor guys. They weren't Hall of Famers, but they were some guys. And once again, a very good draft this year. This week was an awesome draft. Got help in the defensive backfield because that cost us the fucking game. That cost us the NFC Championship game. So that's shored up. Offensive line shored up. Running back. Let's just have some of that, and a wide receiver. Like everything was pretty much either offense based or a very bad need on defense. So I was super happy about that.
So I don't get it then. What's the big deal?
But this fire the GM thing, and here's why it drives me crazy. Because Aaron Rodgers put up with 10 fucking years of Mike McCarthy as head coach and didn't do shit. This guy makes one bonehead draft pick and it's scorched earth scenario. I'm like, what? This just doesn't add up. It just does not add up. It's not an appropriate response. Now, they're saying they're saying
the media
that it is a lot of that Jordan Love pick from last year. Now, when that happened, you know, I was like, what controversy, and I bet Aaron's pissed. And he was like, no, you know, I get it, it's business. I wouldn't have done it. But he was always pretty cordial to Love. He wasn't cold or standoffish like Favre was to him. And it was awesome. And you know, deep down, you can be disappointed and upset with that pick. But apparently he really, really held on to that. Because this guy, he's always been chip on his shoulder, man, since the draft when he slipped to like number 26. He's like, he's always been that guy.
Yeah.
But God.
You would think you'd have a little bit of perspective. Now, I don't know anything about football or the drafting business that went on. But So you're saying, what's his name? Jordan Love, this quarterback. Was he like the best quarterback in the draft?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't follow college.
So they drafted him like to be a backup,
I guess, or maybe some guy, down the road in the future.
But it was their first pick.
Rolled the dice,
that draft.
Yes. First round.
But it wasn't. There was no indication when they drafted Aaron Rodgers that he was going to be Aaron Rodgers, right?
Well, he was potentially a top 3 pick.
But that's why 26,
and that's why him sliding that far was a big story, and it's still a big part of his legacy.
So he was one of the best quarterbacks in the draft before the draft.
It was pretty much him and Alex Smith.
Okay,
and they went with the 49ers went with Alex Smith.
Okay, so Favre was mad because he's a quarterback.
Yeah,
but he was beat up and old
and he was always talking about retirement. He couldn't fucking walk down the block without talking about retirement.
Right, that's CT. So, they'll do it.
I understand. They were like, this guy's talking about retiring all the time. And honestly, Rodgers kind of mentions it a little bit more than I like. It's always talking about, oh, yeah, maybe I'll play till this. And, oh, maybe I'll be a Jeopardy host, this, that. I'm like, oh, shit.
That all seems calculated when anyone does that.
It doesn't hurt to have somebody in the wing, especially if maybe it is somebody that they really think highly of. And they're like, yeah, he's not going to replace you. We're just thinking down the road here. Or, maybe they had an inside scoop like, oh, our quarterback's kind of a diva and he could just quit at the drop of a hat. Let's have a quarterback ready.
Yeah, we need a quarterback. I guess my point is he was the quarterback that got drafted when Favre was still playing, and Favre got pissed that they drafted a quarterback. Yeah. You would think he would be like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, the whole thing.
It's weird.
Yeah, the Jordan Love situation, it's very reminiscent of Aaron's situation when he was drafted. And Aaron's a pretty smart guy, so I thought he would, not go that route. Purposely go out of his way to not do those things. And he's doing all the things. He's doing all the Favre things. It's hilarious. You either die a hero or live long enough to become a fucking moron. It's very disappointing. Another thing that has rubbed Aaron the wrong way is they released Jake Kumaro, a wide receiver. I'll tell you who he is because nobody knows who that is. He's like a 4th string job guy, but I guess he's one of Aaron's buddy, and they made a business decision. Like, we can't keep all your friends. Do you want to win or not? What the fuck, guy? What do you just tell us what you want? We're gonna do it. New coach, done. New offense, there you go. They always cater to him, and I wouldn't be surprised if they fucking fight. They're either gonna fire this GM or he's gonna resign. I bet you money.
Football is way different than basketball, so this is a hard comparison. But Michael Jordan hated Jerry Krause, and so did Scottie Pippen. And he always would talk shit about him. But then Jerry Krause did build like a fucking basketball dynasty around what he had. So they always cried about Jerry Krause, and Pippen signed the fucking dumbest deal in the history of deals. But they were also winning too.
Yeah.
So it's like, well,
same
Jordan's
here.
not going to go anywhere. Not when they're winning championships like that. And it was really just up to him. Like, no, I'm done this year. So you're done winning championships. But it wasn't like with Aaron Rodgers where he had the one Super Bowl and then they just can't get to the Super Bowl again. And if you're him, you got to be fucking frustrated.
But this is the best team. Like 2019, LaFleur shows up. It's a growing pains year, even though I think they made it to the NFC Championship game. Last year, oh man, pretty much there was only like 1 or 2 games where they didn't really look too hot. Otherwise, 40 points a game. Just an amazing squad. So they're only improving. Tweak here, tweak there. Once again, very good draft we just had. Like, I don't think there's a better situation on some of these. I'm gonna hold out. You're not going to trade me. I'll hold out. and I'll do some weird shit. And where and win what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it does. Wisconsin is a shithole, especially during the winter. Maybe he wants to go somewhere warm.
Then do it.
But he's just trying to be a crybaby about it to get people to give in, and then they're like, I feel like they're probably just gonna, cater to what he wants, which is not what it seems like that's not what he wants. Like, he wants to get the fuck out of there. He's like, well, if you don't draft this guy and rehire my friend and fire the GM and do this and this, then I'm not coming back. And then they're going to do all that. And he's going to be like, fuck, it's still cold up here all the time.
And I feel betrayed because he always, he's a quirky guy. He's got, the chip on the shoulder, rough around the edges, competitor. Oh, they did do like that. But he always did things the right way for the most part. Not a lot of diva antics. And this just, it's so disappointing because I think he has like 1 year left on his deal. If you're that unhappy, play the year out, possibly win a fucking Super Bowl champ, and then tell the Packers to go fuck themselves and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
What he's doing now, that this is just not the move, and it's such a bad look. I mean, obviously the Packers don't look too hot. Villains on both sides. Nobody's a hero in this, especially Aaron Rodgers, and he's a smart guy. He knows this is terrible, and he's not saying anything. There's no tweets, Instagrams, no pressers, nothing. And that's also a bitch move. I couldn't be more disappointed with the whole situation. And I'm prepared. I am ready to become the Cleveland Browns. If this is how it's going to be, get him out. I'm ready to eat some shit for a couple years to figure things out, even though I really don't think it would take that long because we do a good job having a good core team. Finding a quarterback is harder, but maybe it is Jordan Love. Who knows? Probably not, though.
No, yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Why not? You don't fucking know anything about Jordan Love.
I don't know. From what it sounds like is, even though Rodgers slipped so far down in that draft, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. And you're saying Jordan Love's like a guy.
I don't know. I don't watch college.
You could hope that he's not just a guy, right?
I'm going to assume that the guy that's done a pretty decent job with drafting knew who he was drafting, even though it was obviously super unpopular choice at the time.
What if the same shit happens? What if
good
next year,
and I fucking hope the Bears concuss his ass out of the league, just like Favre.
Like next year or the year after, Rodgers just gets brutally brain damaged, and then Jordan Love in 2 more years wins the Super Bowl. And it's like, see? Now what?
It's just so dumb.
And then someone will take a chance on Rodgers because of his legendary career. That would be
because there really isn't a better fit for him. There's not he'll go to the Denver Broncos and win a championship. I don't fucking think so. This is his best chance. He's only got, I think, the 1 year ready to rock. So just play it out. Be a broody little baby. Hate all the touchdowns you're throwing. Hate all the playoff games you're winning. And then just leave. This is such a heartbreaker. So close. If this was going to be his last contract here, so close to just, all right, thank you. I think I will not resign. I'm going to shake some hands. I'm going to do this discount double check thing real quick. There you go. And adios. I'm going to go be a Charger. That's fine. I'd be sad. I'd cry. I'd hate watching those games. But this, ugly. And of course, Bears fans are just having a good old time. And I would too. But they're enjoying it, pretending to know what's going on. That's always fun. I spent more time correcting their points than making my own with this fucking saga.
Hot. Dale's heating up.
He's heating up.
He's heating up. He does seem very. He doesn't really seem happy a whole lot. He does the public persona thing well, the Jeopardy type thing, but he doesn't seem. He does seem sort of prickish when it comes to all this stuff.
And I made a joke when it happened some months ago. Every time he gets a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Things get rocky in Green Bay. I was like, and then it actually really, this is the rockiest it's ever fucked the bed. He's on his way out.
Yeah.
And I never would have guessed that. And there was like after every like playoff loss, there was always like Aaron's salty. It's like, of course he's fucking salty. I'd be salty. He better be salty. If he's not salty, there's a fucking problem.
Right.
And like, goddamn, dude. Like they were like one pass away from being in the Super Bowl, and who knows what would have happened there. And now you're just gonna leave. This wasn't like the Bears. Hey, we snuck into the wild card and got our asses beat. Like, no.
Right.
You're a fucking top 3 team. Stay the course.
I forgot about that. I forgot that they did that this year.
But so we'll see how this pans out, man.
Yeah,
I think there's got to be some closure sooner than later.
It doesn't seem like there are any, and maybe you can help me out here because I don't know shit. But it doesn't often seem like there's just this baller team waiting to win a Super Bowl that's just missing the most important position in football. You know? Like it seems like all of those contending teams already have like a big dick quarterback there. You know?
Yep.
It's not like we have the number 1 defense and like, man, we could have the number 1 offense. Everyone's awesome except the quarterback. That just doesn't seem to happen.
I do keep hearing the Broncos thrown out, so maybe they are one of those teams.
Okay.
I think, is Ben Roethlisberger retired? Because he could go there.
I know
I think they have got some solid weapons.
Last season, I didn't know if he retired. You know who'll know, Tord.
Yeah.
Justin from Dad Bod from Pittsburgh, he'll know.
Even if he's not retired, if Aaron wants to go over there, I think they'll fucking take him behind the shed.
Yeah. I think it's time to retire you. No, we're retiring you.
Big Ben can barely walk. He's like TikTok from Return to Oz. Did you ever see that creepy ass movie? That Wizard of Oz sequel?
I've seen it when I was a little kid, but I don't remember any of it other than it being scary when I was like 3.
It's a fucking trip.
And there's a book, right?
It.
Like that's
yes.
And from what I've heard, I don't read shit. The Wizard of Oz book is sort of like fucking creepy, and they're just like, let's not make it that creepy. When they
and Fairuza Balk is in the sequel. She plays Dorothy. So that's my stance here on the Aaron Rodgers saga. I am not a fan of how he's handling this. I think the Green Bay Packers could probably be handling this a bit better. There's really no solution where this is everything's fine now. Yay. It's like, nope. It's going to be messy either way at this point now. So
yeah, and you're in
Bears fans enjoy it. You might be the top dogs for a couple years.
He's still got good years. Not really injury prone. You know,
does a good job avoiding that stuff.
It's sort of hard to justify letting him leave. It's just what a shit show.
Yikes! Wasn't expecting that on draft day.
No, not with a good, good draft, I guess, from what you're telling me. So,
oh well.
Yeah, man, you were already pissed about it. It says something about your personality.
Yeah.
So our buddy John posted on one of our private, like our group chats, his personality assessment results. And I read it, and it was long. There was like 6 pages of describing his result, but goddamn, is it ever so spot on with him? So I'm like, okay, I'll take it, and I took mine, and it's from a website. I'm gonna plug it. I'm gonna plug this website, even though they're not, affiliated with us or anything.
Plugs,
but it was just it was really eye-opening for me to take this thing. It's called 16personalities.com. And it's free, and you don't even have to give them your email if you don't want to. You can just do the quiz, and it shows you your result. And you would think if there's only 16 outcomes, how accurate can it be? And I'm not one of the reason I'm talking about it, and I've been telling people they should go take it, is because I'm not one of these like horoscope people I don't really get into this stuff. And I read mine and I was like, oh my God, how do they know me? This is crazy. And it really like changed my perspective on things that I was doing, you know, making friends or being in relationships, like things I would be insecure about. It was just sort of relieving that there's a bunch of other people out there who have these same traits that I have. So it was really cool. I liked it. And I saw your result and I've already read that whole profile. I can't get my dad to take it. I think it's probably because like the 16th one is like, you're a piece of shit. And he doesn't want to get that one. I don't know. But so it sort of opened up some things that I didn't really realize I was feeling the feelings I was having. So as it turns out, I really try and be like, I want everybody I know to be my best friend. And it makes me like, so I feel like I have 100 best friends. Ooh. But I also I'd feel guilty about that and get insecure because I would think, how would my friends feel if they found out that I love everybody? You know, is it like, well, so our relationship isn't special? You know, I thought I was like closer to Jim than anybody else. So I've always been like insecure about that, but it's just how I am. I just really want to like know everybody, and I get excited about things people are doing, and I just want to be best friends with everybody. Like I'll meet somebody and be like, I think we're best friends now. And then I know they don't feel the same way, but it's just a weird feeling, and that's sort of my personality type. It's listed in there.
I could see that. I remember when we played spring basketball and you became best friends with that rando we got stuck with. You guys, like right away, I was like, oh man, Jim's so friendly. I
don't know. I like to, there's very few people that I just dislike completely. Even people that I don't get along with like day to day, I still like to myself think about like, well, what must it have been like to grow up how they grew up? And I wonder if, you know, maybe they had a bad relationship with somebody close to them and blah, blah, blah. Like I'm always trying to empathize with everyone. And I feel like I'm not humble bragging about that. I feel like to a fault. You know, there's probably people where I should have cut them out of my life because they're pieces of shit. But I'm like, I mean, what's a piece of shit? Everyone's a little bit of a piece of shit, right? You know, let's give this person a chance. It was just cool to just see it written down and not feel like I was a weirdo. Because obviously, if that's one of the 16 options, there has to be a bunch more people like that. So I had, I asked you to take it. Everyone was taking it. And what did you think? I mean, it was a pretty painless experience, no?
Yeah, it was a relatively short quiz.
Yep.
Took 5 minutes or so. And yeah, I thought it was pretty accurate for myself as well, which was kind of cool and creepy. I'm like, get out of my head.
Right? It's creepy. And that's my favorite part of it. And because it'll break down like in the workplace, what is this personality type like? With friends, with romantic relationships, with parenting. The parenting one hit me hard. I'm like, God damn, that is exactly how I am.
I didn't read that for me.
Well, yeah, no, and I wouldn't. It makes sense that you wouldn't. But I almost like skipped right to that one. Because I'm like sort of cynical when it comes to quizzes and tests and shit like this. So I'm like, let's see how fucking wrong. Yeah, John's was spot on, but let's see how wrong mine is. And it was because I didn't like the picture. I'm like, that's not a cool looking guy they gave me. But yeah, I was like, nope, that's it. That's it. It was like, you You give your kids a lot of freedom. You still discipline them, but you just want them to find the thing that makes them really passionate, but you don't know how to do it, and you think you're doing it wrong, and you don't know if you're giving them too much freedom, but you don't want to get them on the wrong path. And the thing is, like with horoscopes, if you read all of them, a lot of them are like pretty similar.
And they're just vague.
They're vague. These are not vague.
You're happy until you're sad, usually.
Right. Great things are on the horizon for you. But then it would break down like common careers for people that have this personality type. And mine like made sense. And none of them were like entrepreneur. Like that. None of them were that. You know, it was like, you'd be a good teacher. You'd be like... it makes sense. And it's something that frustrates me with like pop culture now and like YouTube ads and everything. Everything is like the solution to everyone's problems is, well, just start your own business. Like I'm not wired that way.
I know. I've been trying to get you on Fiverr for quite a while.
I was on and I left.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, Russian bots, I'm out of here.
Well, not for that.
No one loves me.
The guitar stuff, I mean, on Overwatch, you get all this microphone love, and there's easy voiceover money for you, but you love your guitar, so you're going to do guitar stuff for people, and it's hard. It's hard, especially starting up. If you don't have any ratings or reviews, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and I've got to get you some reviews on DM's Guild. I downloaded the packs, and I just haven't reviewed it. Dale's got all kinds of awesome campaigns on dmsguild.com. And they're so good. But I want like everyone to be, not like I want to please everyone. I want everyone's thing that they're doing to like meet their like I want everyone to hit their goals, and I just get excited for everyone. I want them to all do their thing, and like
it also explains why you are the way you are in Overwatch. You're like, oh, Phil, you pick who you want, and then I'll adapt. It's like you're like Overwatch is just a personality tag.
I guess it was cool. It actually made me feel good. I didn't see it and like feel bad about myself. I sort of felt better about not that it gave me a way out, but it was like people with this personality type will get really passionate about a new thing quickly, and then when they get bored, that thing will sort of never get finished, but they will just naturally cling on to some new thing that popped up in their life. And that's how I've always been. I'll get obsessed with a thing for a little while, like enough to get okay at it, but then want to do something else new and never finish anything. It basically, that's in there. It's like, you don't finish shit. I'm like, yeah, I don't. Are you me?
Was there something, because you read it more than I did.
Yeah.
Was there any tips, advice, like WebMD? Like if you have overbearing controlling disorder, maybe pump your fucking brakes this way.
I'll tell you what, there is a paid version of these. And there's a paid one where they'll like give you a custom, tips and tricks guide and all that kind of stuff. Like a more in-depth analysis and like you're saying, advice on how to change some things. But I mean, there wasn't one in this free version. It was just sort of telling you what's going on right now if you're this personality type. And it was cool. And I'm really like, I got really emotional Sunday. It was the 9th anniversary of one of my friends who died extremely young. His name was Steve. And sort of having read that profile opened me up even more on that Sunday. And like, I cried the most I've ever cried. And it was like for a longer period of time than normal, because I used to feel guilty for being so upset because this person wasn't like a blood relative. I didn't like go to grade school with this person and know them my whole life. So I would feel guilt for how much grief I would feel for this person that died, which is a weird thing to feel guilty about, but it's just how I was. But after I saw that assessment, I felt like okay with grieving as much as I grieved, and I really feel like it helped. Like, well, no, I love everybody, like, the most. And I feel connected to everybody in a deep way, even if they don't feel it back. That's okay. You know, like, I know there's people I'm friends with that don't feel the same way about me as I feel about them, and that's fine. That's just how I am. It's just my personality. So it really got me through that more than in previous years. And it felt good. Like, it felt really good to be sad. I didn't feel depressed sad. It was like grief sad, but it felt good. I was like, yeah, he deserves me to be this sad. You know, I did love this person a lot. Even if, like, I would feel like I had to justify to people, like, why are you so sad? Oh, one of my friends died. And they'd be like, oh, like, how close were you?
Close?
I'm like,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I'd cry if you died. We just met in the grocery line. I'll do that. I'll be at the gas station and try and, like, break the ice with the cashier guy for no reason. And it's just trying to be nice.
See, I do it for a different. I like my social situations to be smooth as silk.
Mm-hmm.
So if a joke needs to be cracked, if ice needs to be broken, I'm your Huckleberry on that one. I'm not doing it to be anybody's friend. I'd like this moment to go smoothly, please, as I move on through my day.
Yeah, it's useful. Like, that'll happen, but I'm doing it for a different reason. Sometimes I do it to smooth it out, you know, but otherwise I'm just trying to, like, I'm just going to be really nice to this person because I want to. I'm not always nice to everybody. That's not even part of it, that you're nice. It's that, like, you empathize with everyone and, like, you see things from their perspective. And I'll be like, I don't want to fuck up this person's day. And one of the questions that it was hard for me to answer, because they're like there's like 3 positive, 3 negative, and then a dead neutral right up the middle. And one of them that was hard for me to answer, I had to do dead neutral, was like, when you go to parties, do you like to, like, are you real social and you like to talk to people, or do you like to just talk to people you already know? And I am not shy socially, and I have no problems talking to strangers at all. But the way the question was phrased, I do want to talk to the people I already know and, like, talk to them even more. So if it was like, do you want to go out to a club and just mingle with a bunch of new people? Or do you want to have, like, 5 of your closest friends over at your house for, like, 6 hours and just talk all night? And I'd want to do the second one. But I also do like meeting new people out at a social event. So that one was tricky to answer.
I had quite a few dead centers. And then at the end, it was like, you're pretty indecisive, huh? And I was like, shut up.
I've decided that maybe I don't like this. And I'll let you know how much as soon as I decide.
Oh, man. Yeah, self-assessment's always good. You know, you got to take stock of situations. One of my big things just in life is, problem solving. And step one's always find the problem. Not that this personality test, is highlighting problems, but,
right.
Self-assessment. So it's always good, especially if it's somewhat accurate. Because there were some things I was like, I don't know if I agree with that, but maybe I just don't want that to be the case. I don't know.
You know what it didn't do, which I kind of liked? And I just thought about this. Do you recall there weren't any results or questions really about how angry you get or, like, how fast you lose your, like, if you get aggressively angry or want to hit things or you want to break things on the ground, like, because I get like that too, but I didn't see any of that in any of the profiles I read where it's like, you're quick to anger and you like to break stuff, don't you? Like maybe that's another separate thing that anyone is prone to.
Maybe that's the premium version. It's like, now we're going to tell you the awful truth.
How hard do you want to punch that guy when he doesn't want to be your best friend in the line at the mall? Oh, man. It was cool. But I'm always like, when I'll think of these things throughout the day, and it'll be like, just like fantasy booking. I'm sure people have asked you questions like this where it's like, oh man, if you could get anyone to direct a movie you wrote, like who would it be? You know what I mean? Like questions like that.
Yeah.
And I always pick people I actually know in real life for these fantastical, like, money's no object and anyone could do it. I'm like, well, I want my friend Scott to play drums because he's my friend. And I like the way he plays drums. Like, if anyone could make a movie about you, like, well, I want Dale to write a movie about me. Because Dale writes movies and he's one of my best friends, and that would be really cool. And it goes like down the line. Like who? It'd be somebody I know. Like if anyone could build you a house, like, well, this guy I know that's a contractor. I want him to do it because he seems like a swell guy, and he really deserves that. And one of these things finally came to fruition over the weekend. Dad Bod has been a trio for a long time. We still are a trio. It's me and Eric and Justin. But I thought, wouldn't it be cool? I got the bug to like, I want to play electric, you know, like a 4-piece with a drummer. And I got this buddy Scott, and we were writing these songs. You know, Scott is the Bold Hearts songwriter guy, but he's this fantastic drummer. I was like, man, it'd be cool if we could. I just want to play in a full band. And Scott one day was just like, well, why don't I play drums with you? And I was like, yeah, I know. Like some point that would be cool. He's like, no, like, I don't know, next week, couple weeks. So Dad Bod is still the acoustic trio, but we will have some shows in the future, some very special shows.
Dad Bod Plus.
Dad Bod Plus Double XL with Scott playing drums, a full 4-piece band, electric show. And I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting.
Electric.
It's going to be electric. And we had our first little run through. Justin couldn't make it, but I wanted to get as many in as possible.
Reps.
And it went really, really well. And everyone gets along great. And
good.
Everyone likes the way the other people play. It's all about the vibe, you know? And it was just a good vibe.
You get a good vibe.
It's exciting.
There's 3 things that you want to look for when you're kind of putting a band together.
Really? Let me hear. I want to hear them. What are
the
they?
First one is you all kind of want to be around the same height.
Okay.
For like the album covers and things like that.
Yeah.
You also want to be able to play all of the other instruments as well. So if somebody gets sick,
okay,
you can
or quits on a moment's notice.
Yeah, exactly. The third one is you all have vehicles. That one's a pretty simple one, but you do want everyone to have a vehicle. If you can nail those 3 things, you got a good band going. I heard that over time.
That's not bad. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna blog about that. Yeah, there's. You'd be surprised how many people are like, "Can you give me a ride to practice?" Like, are we adults? No, I can't.
It's like we can't fit all that gear into my car though.
Yeah, that's what a nightmare. Yeah, it was cool. It's been a long time coming for me.
Now you got to plug shit in, but you already have to plug some shit in. I've been to these Dad Bod shows and I've seen the amps plugged in. So what's the difference here?
Well, unplugged
different
is a stylistic term. It's not to be taken literally. So I play an acoustic guitar with a pickup in it, so you can hear it through the PA. But it still sounds like a jangly acoustic guitar, reminiscent of the MTV Unplugged shows. You know, sort of the lower key format. Just a different, not as hard, not as loud. There's not a full drum kit banging away. So this would be way more rocking than what you're used to. An electric guitar into an electric guitar amp with some overdrive going, some harmonics. Just, more like the album versions of a lot of these songs and not the acoustic unplugged versions of these songs. And it frees us up to do some songs we are not able to do because Eric plays cajon or keyboards. He can't really play both. So we have some arrangements of some songs like Disarm by Smashing Pumpkins. Doesn't really have a lot of drums in it. It's got some like timpanis in the middle, but it's got a lot of strings. So Eric will play the strings on the keyboard and not the cajon. And then we've got some songs where there's not a lot of keyboard stuff going on at all. And he'll play the cajon. He'll be like the percussionist, the drum set in that configuration. But what if there's a song that really needs drums and really needs piano and it's an awesome song? It doesn't really work this way, but now it will.
Are you going to, this is just a booking question.
Yeah.
It's about psychology. Because you guys do an intermission and stuff. So some songs, we don't need all the things. But I imagine, booking-wise, that the songs that end each half are everybody's in. We're all, full orchestra.
Yes, that's the idea.
I like that. That.
Yeah. The big arrangement epics. I got a song in mind to close the electric set that we're going to work on that I think everyone's on board with from what I gathered when I took the temperature in the group text. That is just a banger where it's like exactly what you're talking about. And there are also songs where it's like playing the electric guitar version of it just sounds cooler in like is what people are used to hearing. Like Say It Ain't So by Weezer. We play it. It sounds great acoustic, but everyone wants that big, like, you can't really play that little bendy thing on acoustic. It doesn't sound the same. But we played that at rehearsal, and it sounded awesome.
Crowd pleasers.
Yeah, and we're not changing everything. It'll be like an occasional special event for us to be in this configuration with a drummer and everything.
Are you guys gonna dress differently? Like, oh yeah, we got dressed like rock and roll.
No, I'll wear some like 90s shirt and my Weezer glasses like I always do, and
I want to see mullets. It's rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Yeah, it was cool. I like it. And then on the drive home, Scott was like, I just thought about this. You know what would sound really good at one of these shows? If we play One More Chance live for the first time.
That'd be good.
Wouldn't that be cool? And I'm like, long pause, like, yeah, I could, yeah. He's like, no, we're playing it. It's going to be awesome. So that might actually get played in front of people.
Will And Fools Shine On, do you think that's better acoustic or electronica?
That's better electric.
Oh, man. I agree.
Yeah,
that'll be great. I'm excited now. I'm getting hyped.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm getting hyped too. It's gonna be fun.
But that's the electric show. That's not going to be the May
22nd.
22nd show. Okay, that's not dad. That's regular. That's old school.
That is
dad bod.
Yeah. That is the tried and true config. That will still be. There's places where a 4-piece with a drum kit is not even possible. So those places, it just wouldn't work. There's not enough space. The setup time would be too long, that type of thing. But there are definitely places where it would work. And when we've had people ask us, like, oh, you only do the acoustic stuff,
Now you got an answer.
I got an answer. No, what do you want? But show me what you got in that budget.
Yeah. You got electronic money?
I want more.
It's an extra man. It's an extra amp.
Yeah, we're booking a Survivor Series match. You got to pay everybody.
Hell yeah. Get me involved. I'll be like the 5th Hart brother. I'm here too.
Bruce, who was the oddball one that didn't really wrestle? Was it Keith or Bruce?
Keith.
Oh, Keith. Whew.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. Do we don't have any dates on Dad Bod Plus?
Not yet. I'm hoping. I'm always like the more optimistic, hopeful we can get it done sooner guy, and everyone else is more pragmatic than me. I'm thinking probably end of like late summer, end of August, September. That's when that'll be ready. Because there's a lot to go over.
I guess so. God damn. Well, because the Zantes, the Black Sheep by me, is under. It's a new place. It's like the Sheep Depot or something. So
Sheepo.
Because Blackened played there? Was that a
Yes.
Blackened?
Yeah, a few
Man,
times.
that was a small ass venue.
Yeah.
For Blackened. God damn. I think that might be an option.
Yeah.
You pretty much did it before, and
there are places. I've already got some places in mind.
I'm just gonna keep naming places that are close to me.
Yeah, it's fine. I like playing around there. But for example, like a 350 Brewing, we barely fit in there.
Yeah,
as it is. But I want to play there again.
That one Hailstorm's got room for that. Pretty easily, I'd say.
They do.
Their beer sucks, but they got space.
Ooh, come on! Don't blast them.
That was just me. That was Dale. That wasn't Jim.
You know.
Anyway, and you know what? I'm still going to be in there buying beer. So what do they care?
They got to have a beer in there you like.
I'm gonna reach out to them, and I'm gonna say, I've been there a couple times. I did not enjoy a lot of your beer. Here's what I like. What do you have that you think goes with that taste profile? I challenge you.
Yeah,
and
I'm a turbulent advocate. What do you recommend?
I did a personality test. I'm kind of a piece of work, apparently. What beers you got that are good?
And I don't trust you, by the way.
Yeah, I'm only going to half consider your answer.
Yeah, and I mean, you're only an asshole when you want to be. So I'm sure that would be a smooth conversation you could have and be like, look, I see Dad Bod here probably 2-3 times a year. But I haven't been into any of the beers I've had. I'm not really down with it. But Dad Bod, great. I mean, I come all the way out here just to see Dad Bod. So I'll be here again, even though I haven't really found a beer I like. So what do you recommend, Dad Bod?
What do you got that's new? I think that's just my solution. Because I know what was there. What's new? I'll try that.
Or did you reformulate any of the old ones?
Did you clean out the keginator there? Or?
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Music's coming back slowly.
I'm so excited about the show on the 22nd at Beer Geeks. I love playing there. I want to play so bad. The rehearsal went really well. It was like there were songs where me and Eric just haven't sung them together in 20 months or something. And it was like we didn't miss a beat on some of those. So I just can't wait. It's going to be so cool.
Good. May 22nd at Beer Geeks.
Beer Geeks in Highland.
And on May 23rd, I have a little bass derby.
Ooh.
So I have to not drink too much when I'm at the Geeks. So I'm gonna have to get up early the next morning.
Just
that's a good thing about fishing.
After.
Yeah, it's a good thing about fishing. You can be pretty hungover, and you're like, I'm just throwing this line.
It might help. If you're hungover, you got a headache, you might be a little more in tune with the fish.
I won't overthink it. It'll be just drunken master style. I'll be doing some finesse fishing because I'm all wobbly. And they're like, oh, it's hypnotizing. I have to munch on this lure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, so I had an interesting weekend. I didn't think a online quiz thing was going to help with that weekend so much, and I think it really did.
Sweet. Yeah, give that a look too. 16personalities.com. Yeah, those are. I didn't like it in a way. I was like, that's too accurate. Like I like to think I'm a little more special than that. I guess not. And it said that too. It's like you think highly of yourself.
Yeah.
Well, shut the fuck up.
You're probably
Quiz?
reading this right now thinking you're a little more special than this. It's like the fucking song in basketball. What a movie.
So this is going to be my last topic of the show here, because this one, like kind of like the quiz blew your mind, this blew my mind. Because just the other night, we're on Overwatch having a good time, and I'm, doing my special stuff off to the side, and I'm like, Jim, bro, you know what would be super cool, man? You know how like in the Spider-Man Spider-Verse, there was all the Peter Parkers working together sort of thing. What if they did that, but like with the Batman, and they kind of get all the Bruce Waynes and shit? And you said, oh boy,
yeah.
Do I have news for you?
Yes, sir.
This the Flash movie, which is directed by Andy Muschietti, who did It. They're apparently doing something similar. Obviously, the Flash and all that kind of Flash stuff. So basically, they're doing it that way, which is awesome. And this is a pretty new article from May 3rd, which is literally today. The Flash now filming at Wayne Manor from Tim Burton's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So legit doing it. It's happening. Cameras are rolling. And that is just the cool, like as fun as multiple Spider-Mans is, awesome. You're going to give me a stacked Batman roster?
I hope they keep enough of it under wraps too. I'm sure they won't be able to, but
if Christian Bale is on board somehow, don't tell me.
Exactly.
If you got Kevin Conroy doing some voice at work somehow, don't tell me. Oh, that's good. That'd be super cool.
It'll get me in the seat.
And that's going to get me, man, because I really don't give a shit about any of the DC universe stuff at all.
That's
but now
not
you
your
got
fault,
me.
though.
Now you got me. I don't like Ben Affleck's Batman. Not that it's really his fault, but like I could leave all of that. But now you're gonna give me turtleneck, small TV, Bruce Wayne
Drinking his cold soup.
Woo! It's supposed to be cold.
Oh,
yeah, fuck it then.
Who knows who we'll see? That's what's exciting. Will we see Selena Kyle?
Danny DeVito's still around.
Yeah. Will we see Halle Berry as Catwoman?
What if they have a Michelle Pfeiffer scene with Halle Berry somehow?
Oh my God! Yes, I do.
I'm telling you,
that would be hilarious.
That would be so good, so good.
It might get catty between them.
I demand that Jim is fired from this podcast, or I'm just gonna quit. I'm just gonna quit. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm a little baby. I'm just gonna walk away because I don't like what's happening.
That doesn't sound like anyone I know.
Do we have any real plugs here besides 16 Personalities and Dad Bod, May 2-2,
Beer Geeks, and Highland? No, I mean, I guess you keep bringing it up. I mean, maybe I should start doing voiceover stuff on Fiverr.
Throw it there, and don't fucking micromanage and stress. Another day's passed. I didn't get a gig. Get a nice little video. Do a nice little 30-second reel. And people will pop for it. Start low with your pricing. And as you get more reviews, jack that price up, son. That's the pro move right there. I love that shit.
Yeah, has it been working for you?
I enjoy it very much.
Awesome. That's good. Maybe we'll talk more about that offline.
Yeah. These are pro tips for everybody out there trying to make a little side hustle money. This is America. We need side hustles on our side hustles because we got bills.
That's true.
Doctor's bills and...
That's the solution. That's the solution. Just start 4 or 5 of your own businesses, and everything will be fine
at the same time.
Oh, I go to my knee doctor tomorrow. There's a plug.
Ooh,
new knee doctor tomorrow. He's gonna take an X-ray. He's gonna get my history, get my workup, and come up with some sort of solution for me to have 2 knees at work.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get a little update next week. See how that goes. Yes. I'll probably have an update on this Aaron Rodgers saga. It's going to get messy. It's like Jim Nees. It's going to get messy.
It's going to turn into almonds and cabbage.
That is going to do it for episode 174. Thanks for listening. I'm Jake Kumaro.
And I'm Jerry Krause, the new GM of the Green Bay Packers. Except he's dead. Isn't he? Didn't Jerry Krause die?
I think so.
Oh, nuts. They're screwed now.
Rodgers would still take it.
He'll just be wearing a shirt that says Jerry Krause on a name tag, but it's him in like glasses.
Making all the moves.
Yeah, he's like, oh, just Jerry Krause here, managing generally.
Oh, another wide receiver. That's 7 in a row, sir. Hey, Mr. Krause. That's a lot. That's worked in Chicago.
I won 6 championships.